This image encapsulates it all. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And that's one thing about video platforms, is that you can take a 10,000, 15,000 page dissertation that virtually nobody's going to read except for maybe someone's academic director, a few colleagues, then it'll be on some type of academic journal that no one is ever going to read. But here's the thing, you don't need Shinto to do Shinto. Right here, it's a shrine. You come to a place, if you revere it, that's a shrine, de facto. De jure and de facto. Not just de jure, de facto. It's a shrine complete. There's no books to study. Well, there's some basic concepts, but essentially there are no books to study. There's no process you don't transition to Kami no Michi, the way of the spirits. The rock is the spirit, the mountain is spirit, and you have the rocks and the mountains and the trees and the plant and animal life and the sunlight, everything's right there. You have a full-fledged shrine essentially. But now I want to pivot something away to a discussion to Universal Mother. There are beings not of this world with a message for you. It is up to you to listen to it or to reject it. If the human beings follow their own teachings and inclinations, they will fail. If the human beings merely follow the advice of other human beings, then they will get mere human outcomes, not the outcomes of full potential. Your potential as divinity and as a great master, not of the human nature, said that to prove your divinity, to raise you up as gods and goddesses. Some people might be squeamish at this concept. It's the big, to them they can say this concept is blasphemous. That's their interpretation, and they can believe in that. They can call it blasphemy as long as that's their interpretation. They have the right to believe that, from the gravel on the ground and up to the high heavens. But anyway, if you have the concept of your own divinity and have some type of understanding that your spirit, that the masters didn't come they didn't come as God men to declare themselves, before men. Oh, I am God. Praise me. They came to raise you to the level of divinity. They did not come to declare themselves as gods. They came to show you your path to God, your path as gods and goddesses. Should you choose to be integrated with them, should you allow them to integrate with you, you in them and them in you, you in them and them in you. And that goes back to the mantra. So some people will be confused. They'll say, is it a declaration of arrogance? It's not saying, I am God. Listen to what I tell you. Now, there are false prophets, and in different traditions, they will be derided as false prophets. They'll be derided as false godmen by other adherents. But there are avatars and great incarnations, not of the human being nature, not of this planet Earth. They're merely the human body as an instrumental vehicle for the gods and goddesses to give you a message. It's declared in the book. In a time of injustice and turmoil, I myself will incarnate using the human body, but the foolish persons will call me a fool. They will mock me. They will cuss me. They will deride me, for they do not know my power. The words of the Lord. And in the same Bhagavad Gita, the holy song of God, the Lord declares, I am the offering and the oblation. I am the offering and the oblation. And whosoever offers me a sacrifice and oblation with a pure heart, I myself shall accept it. And he says, they will abide in me and I in them. So they will abide in me and I in them. You in me and me in you, from the perspective of God. So it's not so much you declaring, I am God, but if you can perceive the science behind words are words and words are semantic. But if you understand the power of the mantra, then you'll understand what it means to be in oneness with the gods and goddesses. You can choose to reject, and if you say you don't want to be integrated, you don't want your body to be a temple of the spirit, then the spirits will respect that, and they say, okay, leave them alone. We'll move on. That person doesn't seek communion. But if you allow yourself to be integrated with the spirit, then you can rise to your potential in oneness with the spirits. And you're not reverently bowing before the Kamigami, the spirits. And you're recognizing your own being as a spirit, as a contact of spirit to spirit. And as you go before the shrine, it's a contact of spirit to spirit. You go before the mountain, you announce yourself to this mountain and you recognize the divinity of the mountain. And the mountain recognizes the divinity of you. You recognize the divinity of the mountain recognizes your divinity, and it is a communion, a mutual co-equal communion of spirit to spirit. And I think that's a great power also of different divinities, different gurus, spiritual masters not of this world. And I want people to listen attentively, intensely, carefully, spiritually, and perceive the great message of Universal Mother, a message to the humanity on this earth.